Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here for some updated 2018 NFL Power Rankings, but I have to preface this video. You are going to have serious problems with these power rankings. People, what you need to understand, okay? I understand we're all fans of our favorite teams, and this time of year is one of the most optimistic times of years in the NFL. You know, you're so optimistic right now, free agency, draft is coming up. You want to believe that your team is top 5, top 10, and if you're one of the worst teams in the league, you want to believe that you're above average. Everyone wants to believe this. So you're going to have problems with these power rankings unless if you're like an Eagles or Vikings fan, okay? So give me a break. Try to make your own power rankings. Put them in the comments below. And let's see how much hate you're going to get, because you're going to get a bunch of hate. It's so hard. Like, I had so much trouble making these power rankings. It's so hard right now because you have just such a hard time putting together these rankings when we don't know anything about these teams yet. They haven't played any games in the 2018 NFL season. So I did the best that I could, and we're going to start by talking about number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, they won the Super Bowl. They still deserve to be number 1. And remember, they went 13-3, number 1 seed in the NFC without Carson Wentz for a lot of the year. And Nick Foles came in and had that magical Super Bowl run. They still deserve to be number 1. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings. That is right, the Vikings who signed Kirk Cousins and Sheldon Richardson. They had to be number 2 to me, number 2 team, and they couldn't end up being number 1 this year, and they could end up winning the Super Bowl in 2019. Wouldn't shock me at all. New England Patriots, number 3. I wrestled between them and the Pittsburgh Steelers for that next spot, but I made Patriots 3 and Steelers 4. It just depends on who you want to pick. Until the Steelers dethrone the Patriots forever and permanently, I just can't put them over the Patriots yet, but that could be this upcoming season. I'm looking out for that. So Steelers are number 4, and number 5 are the LA Rams, who have been aggressive trading for guys in this 2018 NFL offseason. They traded for Marcus Peters. They traded for Aqib Talib. That cornerback tandem will be very difficult to match up against, and they still have Todd Gurley, and they still had Jared Goff, and they still have that dynamic offense headed by Sean McVay. Rams, number 5. Number 6, New Orleans Saints, as Alvin Kamara takes another step in his career. Michael Thomas gets another step in his career, and that defense, okay, gets older as well. Guys like Marshawn Lattimore, they continue to improve and step up. Sheldon Rankins as well. As Saints should be Super Bowl contenders this year as long as Drew Brees isn't done yet, and there are no signs to show that he is done yet. Atlanta Falcons, number 7. Look, they're one of the more consistent teams in the NFL. Will they win the Super Bowl? Probably not, but you can make a pretty good bet on them making the playoffs with Matt Ryan. They've missed the playoffs maybe once or twice, right? I'm not going to bet on that. I like the Falcons as number 7. Number 8, Green Bay Packers. You know, it really does feel like they're descending at this point. You know, they were obviously below 500 last year as Aaron Rodgers missed most of the season, but if Aaron Rodgers plays, they're dangerous. They are Super Bowl contenders. I wouldn't pick them to go there. I wouldn't pick them to win it, especially in this NFC where the Eagles, Vikings, and Rams and Saints are looking really, really, really good, but they should still be a playoff team next year, assuming Aaron Rodgers is healthy. That's a big assumption right now. Number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars, and I struggled with this because I am a Tennessee Titan fan, but I did put them above the Tennessee Titans because you expect them to continue to improve. Actually, they only went 10-6 last year. You know, they lost a lot of games that they quite frankly should not have, and then the next week they would come out and blow out very impressive teams. So I'm looking out for this team next year. They signed the big guard Andrew Norwell in free agency. This guy's going to make an impact. The question is, can Blake Bortles play well? And the thing about quarterbacks that I see in the NFL, the longer they're in the NFL, normally the better they get. Okay, it's just hard to be in the league for years and to continue to be bad at the quarterback position. So I expect Blake Bortles to improve somewhat. The question is, will it be enough to lead this team to the Super Bowl? That we will find out. We move on to the Dallas Cowboys, who are number 10, and I think this ranking is deserved. Look, they went 9-7 last year with Ezekiel Elliott dealing all his issues and then ending up being suspended for 6 games. This is still, to me, a team that can win the Super Bowl next year, and they were able to, I think, rally without Ezekiel Elliott for parts of last year. Their rookie rookies defensively played decent last year. They're going to take a step up, and they've been drafting well lately, so I'm expecting another good draft for the Cowboys in this 2018 NFL draft. Cowboys number 10. Panthers number 11. Some Panthers fans will be upset about this. They weren't even in the top 6 teams in the NFC. Well, you guys can certainly make the playoffs, but it just looks like every other year the Panthers miss the playoffs, that they struggle, they go through issues that look like it could be this year, right? Look, this on cue, it's on schedule for that. We'll see if that actually happens, but for now, I still respect the Panthers. Tennessee Titans number 12. You can call me biased. The Titans roster is looking pretty damn good. If they add in Ndamukong Suh, they'll be a top 10 team to me. And look, personally, I'll be looking out for them to go to the AFC Championship game because I think they can compete with the Steelers and the Patriots if Mike Vrabel can prove to be a good head coach and they get Ndamukong Suh. If they don't get Suh, I still think they'll probably lose out to the Steelers or the Patriots in the divisional round. It'll be a lot closer than it was last year. That's my prediction right now, but again, things will change as we go into the draft and we actually see who these teams draft. We move on to the Baltimore Ravens, who are number 13. I like the Ravens. Like, you know, they finally have, to me, a running back that can help them in Alex Collins. He had a good year last year. They signed Michael Crabtree and John Brown. They're going to help out Joe Flacco. Who we get? He's not great, but he can make plays and he can make a Super Bowl run. We've seen that in the past. The Ravens should be a playoff team this upcoming year. In fact, it's even surprising that they missed this year. Next year, I think they're going to have better luck. And again, it's early, but that's what I'm feeling right now. LA Chargers number 14. And this is a team you need to look out for, people, because every year we have those teams that we're not expecting much from, and they end up being an 11-5, 12-4, 13-3 type team. Okay, and I think the Chargers could be that kind of team. They went on a winning streak at the end of last year. They have so much talent on their roster right now. Joey Bosa's been a great draft pick. Casey Hayward has come in and ended up being an all-pro guy. Their team is freaking stacked, dog. Can they put it together for an entire season? That is a question in LA. But this team should be a playoff team. They should be a top 10 team, maybe even top 5. I'm looking out for the LA Chargers next year. We move on to the Detroit Lions, number 15. Look, I like them. They're consistent. Okay, they still deserve to be ranked in the middle of the power rankings and anyone's power rankings. Now, will they make the playoffs? I don't think so. I think the NFC is too stacked right now. That's, again, what I'm thinking early. I know it's early, but look, as long as they have Matthew Stafford, they're going to be consistent enough, at least 6-10. Hopefully, and they'll be around. And we move on to the Oakland Raiders, number 16. Now, some of you will think this is too low. Some of you think this is too high. Last year, they struggled, and this is with a healthy Derek Carr and a pretty healthy roster, guys. I mean, they were healthy. I mean, they had some injuries, but not more than the average NFL team, so they struggled. Can John Gruden come in and fix everything? I'm optimistic that he can. I think the Raiders will compete for the playoffs in the AFC West, maybe even win it. But right now, I felt good with number 16, right in the middle of the NFL. We move on to the next team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm not quite sure what to expect, man. I think their offense is going to be something. Patrick Mahomes throwing that rock around to Kareem Hunt, to Travis Kelce, to Tyreek Hill, and now Sammy Watkins, whom they added in free agency. But how is that defense going to look now? It's already getting older, and they traded away their best piece in Marcus Peters. So what's going on over there? You can argue Eric Berry's better. That's fine. Eric Berry's getting older, so I don't know why you would trade away Marcus Peters. Nonsense to me. Who are they going to draft instead? We have to get the answers to these questions, and until then, I can't have the Chiefs higher than this. Move on to the Seattle Seahawks, who I will still respect. Okay, they lost Richard Sherman. Okay, they lost Michael Bennett, and they're going through issues right now. I understand that. But they still have Russell Wilson, who to me is a top 10 quarterback in this league, and he is right on my top 5. Like, he's either 5 or 6. It depends on my mood that day. That boy can play. Okay, so I'm a fan of Russell Wilson. When you have Russell Wilson and you still have Bobby Wagner and you still have Earl Thomas and you still have Cam Chancellor, I like your chances. And Doug Baldwin as well. And hello, your coach is Pete Carroll. I like your chances. Now, again, there are so many teams in the NFC right now that are looking stacked. I think it'll be tough for them to make the playoffs, but they should at least be a 7-win team. So number 18 is not a bad position for them. We move on to the next team, the San Francisco 49ers. And look, I understand everyone's drinking the Jimmy Garoppolo juice. Okay, it's great juice, you know, it's grape juice, whatever it is. Maybe it's fruit punch. I don't know what it is. Since you guys have red jerseys, I get it. He's great. But look, that's all you have. All right, now you signed Richard Sherman, so you have him too. But I don't see enough impact players, especially defensively, for this football team. Even in the wide receiver core, I don't see him. They were going to go after Allen Robinson, and they kind of did, but they didn't get him. Sammy Watkins, same thing. Who are they going to draft? We're going to find out. But for now, are they prepared to be a playoff team against all these stacked NFC teams? I don't see it. Can they go 8-8? Sure. But better than that, it's going to be tough against all these stacked NFC teams when they still have all that inexperience defensively and not enough big-time impact players. Although Richard Sherman will help. Again, he will help, but I don't think he's going to be quite enough. Move on to the Washington Redskins. Okay, I respect the Redskins. They're going to compete. Alex Smith is a decent quarterback. We get that. He's a winning quarterback. He comes in, he wins games. Now, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl, but can you go 8-8? Hell yeah, y'all can go 8-8. So the Redskins will still be in it. They'll still be decent, but probably not good enough. We move on to the Cincinnati Bengals, 21. I respect the Bengals. I still think they have talent on their roster. Now, last year was kind of disastrous. They started 0-3, but they finished 7-9. There are reasons to believe that they can be a playoff team next year. Okay, in the AFC, which is much weaker right now. I'm looking out for the Bengals. And you also look at the fact that offensively, they just traded for Cordy Glenn, the offensive tackle. That's going to fill one of their needs. So I'm looking out for the Bengals. I think they could be a bit dangerous in terms of being a playoff team, but Super Bowl contender, probably not, unless they have a really good draft class. We move on to the Buffalo Bills, who are 22, and I know Bill fans are going to be pissed. Look, as soon as you guys trade up and draft somebody, then you guys will be going up these rankings. But until then, y'all don't have a quarterback right now. I can't rank you higher than this. Okay, as soon as you guys get that quarterback, and I know you will, you guys will go up my rankings. But for now, until you have one, y'all are low on my rankings. We move on to 23, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who should be higher than this. Talent-wise, they're better than this, but Dirk Cutter, their head coach, stinks. He's a bad head coach. I don't know why they kept him. It doesn't make any sense to me why Dirk Cutter was remain head coach of this football team, why he was retained. It doesn't make any sense to me. See, the Tennessee Titans firing Mike Mularkey after going 9-7 and making the divisional round, whereas the Tampa Bay Buccaneers keep freaking Dirk Cutter after going 5-11 and disappointing even worse than they did. Way worse than they did. It doesn't make any sense to anyone with a pulse. And yet, I have them 23 because they're so talented. It wouldn't shock me. Again, we talk about these surprise teams. The Bucs have the talent to win 11 games next year. Can they put it together? Can Jameis Winston stay healthy for 60 games? Because now that's the question with him. Mike Evans is a beast. We know this. The running game right now is a disaster. The defense is showing signs of life. Okay, they just picked up a big defensive tackle, so we're looking at our defensive end and Jason Pierre-Paul from the New York Giants, so we're looking out for him. I'm intrigued, but I have to rank them low right now. 24 Chicago Bears. I'm also intrigued, and I think they could be a surprise 9-10 win team next year. Their defense is good. They're adding pieces around Mr. Trubisky. They're adding too many tight ends to me. I don't know why everyone loved the Trey Burton thing. I didn't think you need to give him $8 million per year to team up with Adam Shaheen. I didn't see that, but I'm loving the addition of Allen Robinson. I think he's going to be great, and I still expect them to draft another wide receiver. Taylor Gabriel's in there. The offense should be better. The defense is good. 24 seems low, but trust me, I couldn't make an argument to put you much higher than this when you look at the teams above you. But the Bears could be a playoff contender next year. But again, NFC stacked, dog. New York Giants, 25, and this is where they deserve to be. I understand they made the playoffs a couple years ago. They won 11 games, could have won the Super Bowl. Didn't. Okay, last year was just so disastrous. Now you hope this new head coach, Pat Shurmur, is going to come in and fix things, and I hope so too. But until then, and until you guys actually figure out what the hell you're doing in the draft, I can't have you much higher than this. Because last year was just so disastrous. You're the second worst team in the league. You have the second pick right now. Okay, so, and you just traded away Jason Pierre-Paul, and you got a third round pick, and that third round pick could be great. You know, it could be a great third round pick, but for now, the Giants need to be this low to me. We move on to the Cardinals, number 26. Like, I struggle with this because Bruce Arians is a good head coach, man. He can get some wins out of a team that shouldn't be getting wins. We saw that last year. But, man, you got Sam Bradford in now. You have Mike Glennon backing him up. That looks like a disaster waiting to happen. Larry Fitzgerald is counting the days until retirement. Bruce Arians, I mean, even him, he's a great coach. He is having health issues. It just doesn't feel right for the Cardinals this year. They do have ascending talents defensively, and Hassan Reddick and Budda Baker and Marcus Golden's been playing great, and Chandler Jones has been playing great. But it just doesn't feel right now for the Arizona Cardinals, and I just can't pick them to be much higher than this on my power rankings. 27 is the Houston Texans. Now, Texans fans are going to believe that I'm hating on them. But here's the thing. I mean, if y'all can make an argument why you should be much higher than this, I want to hear it. Last year went 5-11 without Deshaun Watson for most of the year. I understand, and that's a big deal. With Deshaun Watson, y'all were 3-4. Okay? Now, you added Tyrann Mathieu, and you like that. But I just couldn't push you guys much higher than this. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure if Deshaun Watson's going to make it 16 games. This is second torn ACL, and we're going to see what's going to happen. I mean, the Texans could be a playoff team out there right now, but I just couldn't put you guys much higher than this. All the other teams above you won more games last year, except for the Giants, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, but you're going to be upset, and that's fine. 28, Indianapolis Colts. Okay, will Andrew come back? If he's back, boom, y'all are going to go up to the middle of my power rankings, okay, up to like 16. I just don't know yet. I mean, I'm being told he's going to come back, but I don't believe it because I can't believe he didn't play last year. So I got to wait and see on that. 29, Miami Dolphins. I just don't know what to think about you guys. What's going on? I'm not excited about the Dolphins right now. Ryan Tannehill is coming back, and you just lost Jarvis Landry and Devontae Parker. Will he step up? There's nothing exciting me about this franchise. It just looks like mediocre at best, and it looks like it could be disastrous. So I just couldn't put the Dolphins higher than this. Number 30, Denver Broncos. Look, I understand they signed Case Keenum, and they believe Case Keenum is their guy. I think this talk is ridiculous. I think Case Keenum had a great year last year, but I think he's going to regress back to being the Case Keenum of old, and they're going to regret this, especially if they do not select the quarterback in the first round of this year's draft. And I think they're going to. After this ridiculous deal they gave Case Keenum, I didn't like the deal. I thought it was way too much money. $27 million guaranteed over 2 years was too much to me for Case Keenum. So we're going to see what's going to happen, but I'm not loving the situation in Denver right now. They look like they're going down, and I think Vance Joseph is just a bad coach. Okay, I don't think he's good enough to win in this league. 31, New York Jets. And I know this hurts because you're positioning yourselves to draft the quarterback, and I like that. I really like that. But I have to see it first, right? I just pick the guy that I think is good right now. Right now, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still doing my quarterback evaluations. But pick the best quarterback available, and then we'll talk. But until then, you guys deserve to be down here. I understand you won 5 games last year, but we understood. The Jets roster was bad. Okay, like a lot of us thought we were gonna go, you all were gonna go 0-16. You didn't. But 5-11 is still not great. And the Jets deserve to be this low to me. But 32 is the Cleveland Browns. And look, I get it. They traded for Jarvis Landry, and they traded for Tyrod Taylor, and oh my God, they're ready to do something. They still stink. They went 0-16 people. If they're not the worst team in the league right now, who is? I mean, seriously. Now, hopefully they draft Saquon Barkley and they draft a quarterback and they improve. But even then, who is heading the ship? Hugh Jackson. And how can you trust him to win anything under this man? He is 1-31 as a head coach in this league. Honestly. And I hate to hyperbolize, but if you were to pick me to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, don't you think I can give you that? I mean, I think I can give you 1 win in 2 years. Sign me up, Cleveland. So until they get rid of this guy, I'm not picking the Browns to do anything. And that's my thoughts on that. So there you go. Those are my 2018 NFL Power Rankings following the 2018 NFL Free Agency period. What are your thoughts on these Power Rankings? What are your Power Rankings? Comment down below. I want to know. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. See you all later.